Hello, welcome to Introspection with Jeff. Boy, this is another. I lost count of how many videos I've been uploading this week. I wish I could do more. In fact, that dovetails into what I wanted to talk about. Um, the main topic I wanted to talk about was something happened today about rules. At my second job, I just came back from my second job, and wish I didn't have to have two jobs. I'll get into that. But there was a sign up, and I pointed out something, and I remarked to a coworker, gee, wasn't following what the sign blatantly, obviously said. And the coworker said, "Oh, well, that's just a policy, or nobody bothers. Don't bother with it. You don't have to report it or do it." Well, I did mention it, not for the sake of accusing somebody. I didn't know who did it. I just found, wow, this there was a plastic bag, a large plastic bag in essentially a drop chute, where the sign on the door said, "Don't put plastic bags here. Put them in this other spot over here." Um, so I mentioned, "Hey, there's a large plastic bag here. I don't know. I can't put my stuff down through the chute just yet." So, fortunately, the manager of that area said, "Oh, essentially, thank you. I'll mention it to all the other departments too." But I wanted to I wanted to explain something about how I interpret rules. Now, this will get into religion a bit. When I was a child, before the age of about 12 or 13, something like that, I didn't know that I was Jewish. But my mom brought me up in a certain way. It's not that she told me or instructed me in this, but there was there was a way that I just instinctively took to rules and guidelines and what you're told you're supposed to do. I see it as orderly. I saw it at the time as like a healthy guideline. Like, I compare it to driving. If you stop at a stop sign and be cautious and look both ways, you're going to avoid getting into accidents. If you obey a standard of not overspending, you'll be financially better off. I saw it. I mean, as a child, I saw it like that. And in school and in social circles when I was a child, I remember sometimes kids would say, "Ooh, I'm telling." I never had that attitude. I never had the attitude of a goody two shoes. To me, it wasn't a sense of following or obeying the authority figures. It was that these are guidelines created, and I trust that they were created to safeguard against calamity and hardship. So that's how I grew up. My mom, in certain ways, I guess, just had this relationship with me where she wasn't strict. She was never strict. She simply said things like, "Be careful. Don't put your belongings in this outside pocket. Put in your inside pocket." And I understood, even as a child, I understood what she meant. There was a back and forth. There was a nuance and subtle understanding about why she was explaining these things. Why she said those things. Excuse me. So again, for the umpteenth time, I guess I'll say, I I'm one to understand rules, and for the most part, and I'll go by, follow them. So when it came time for me to discover that I was Jewish, I I knew that there were commandments and so forth. I didn't really study the Bible until college when I saw a special called Pharaohs and Kings, which delved into the timeline of the Bible. And then afterward, I started studying a lot more and becoming more familiar with the commandments. Well, I never really counted, but supposedly there are 613. There's some philosophical deductions to how that comes about. I think 365 negative commandments and 200 and something or other positive commandments. The 365 alludes to the number of days in the year, and the number of positive ones alludes to the number of body parts in the human body. But that's one tradition. I really don't know how many commandments there are. Anyway, I would study them, and there are some constructive, good, healthy commandments, a lot of them. And I wish I could delve into that further in some video, but suffice it to say, I don't see them as restrictions. Like, for example, Catholicism and Christianity seems to regard the commandments as restrictions and heavy burdens. I mean, through Christian history, they accused the Jews. They stated that the Jews were burdened by commandments. It's strange because they're the same ones who point out the Ten Commandments and how they should be followed, and they want to merge the Ten Commandments in with the secular American law system. It's weird. I'm proud to be Jewish because I don't just adhere to the Ten Commandments. I adhere to, or at least I'm aware of all the commandments, and I suspect that I adhere to most of them. At least I'm familiar with all of them, and I have specific reasons why I don't adhere to all of them. So that's primarily what I wanted to talk about, what I wanted to point out. This channel is called Introspection with Jeff, and I wanted to share some of my take on how I follow rules, or my take on rules in general. So the other thing I wanted to talk about was how I've been, particularly today, it was on my mind, the second job. I shouldn't get into detail because it would be revealing a lot about where I work and conditions, but let me explain. I've said I've been working 2 jobs. They cut my hours back last June. So fortunately, I was able to get the second job 3 evenings each week. That amounts to 15 hours at the second job. And now, oddly enough, they want me to work longer hours. What had been my regular hours before being cut, however, they don't expect me to do that during the days where I'm working my second job. In any event, it's been very stressful. It's been not necessarily stressful. It's been annoying, frustrating. It's felt like I've been burdened. Speaking of being burdened, I just want one single job that I do well, and I do both jobs pretty well. I've been complimented. The first job, I've been complimented. Right now, I feel like taking a vacation, a long vacation for several days at least. I feel like just watching nostalgic TV. I've got tons of DVDs. I want to watch Newhart and Dick Van Dyke Show and Married with Children. I haven't seen really any Married with Children. I haven't seen any of those shows in quite a while, a number of years probably. I have started to watch Mystery Science Theater 3000. I've seen a little bit of some episodes, but it's a matter of time crunch. I just feel like sometimes telling everybody, just leave me alone, just go, I want some rest. And okay, I'll say it here, might as well mention it here. Remember the girl from high school I've nicknamed Punky Brewster? I can empathize with her. Um, Without going into further detail, I texted her a message. Fortunately, we're on speaking terms, although I respect her when she said some months ago she doesn't have time for active friendships. And I'll respect that, even though I wish things were different. Sometimes, sometimes the thought comes, even today, I really wish things were different. They deserve to be different, so that I could make up for time lost in these decades. Fortunately, I can be able to text her, and I don't expect that she would be able to text back, but at least she's not rejecting me. And we're on friendly terms, even though she doesn't have time to be my friend. I'm guessing that if she heard this, she would still say that she's my friend. She would say she doesn't have time to be actively talking back and forth, but she is my friend. So I also want to mention that in a previous video, I think my immediately prior video, I mentioned a couple of people that I wanted to see what happened to them. And Shannon Comer from middle school, and she went to the same high school, but primarily middle school. I wondered whatever happened to her. I only know that, well, I don't want to reveal it. I know she moved quite a ways away, and she has an interesting personality. I'll just say it as that. But I just wanted to say hi and reach out, and maybe there's some way through this video or this channel to be able to say hi again. And there were two people from CNN. When I was working at CNN, there was a trainer, Kristen, and her friend. Offhand, I don't remember the friend's name, but I've been wanting to say hi, and I've been wondering whatever happened to them too. So I'll end this video with that. I hope you've had a good day, and I'll talk with you again soon. Bye.